It looks like today would have been the day to go up to the Kyakthanlan Pagoda for the sunset viewing. But instead, I'm going to the movies. There just happens to be a small cinema just like a block away from my guest house. It's right down on the river here. It's not I don't think it's a classic old cinema, a traditional cinema or anything like that. It's part of a modern chain, I think, called Mingalar, something like that. But I happened to be walking past and I noticed they're showing a Myanmar film starring a couple of very well-known actors here. So I thought I would go check it out. It's not in English. There won't be English subtitles, so I will have no idea what's going on. I may not stay for the whole movie, but I'll go in, take a seat, watch some of the movie, and see how it goes. I tried to commit the names of the actors and directors and even the name of the movie to memory, but it was hopeless. So I have to refer to the notes on my phone. The movie is called something like Joyot or Joyote. And it's a comedy directed by an actor named Kin Hlang. And it is starring, I think the female star is Tai Ron, and the male star is a well-known Myanmar actor named Myint Myat, something like that. I was reading an article this afternoon about the most recent local Academy Awards. Of course, here in Myanmar, they have their own Academy Awards for their movie industry, and I guess Myint Myat was passed over. You know, everyone thought he should have won an award for Best Supporting Actor, but he was not given the nod. There seems to be a little bit of a controversy that the Academy here is not supporting modern, independent, artistic films, going more for mainstream products or something like that. So there it goes. The sun is just about to sink below the horizon. Just touch the edge and it'll disappear in a couple of minutes or less, I think. Based on what I read about this movie, Joyot, it could be even more difficult to understand than I expect. Seems to be kind of a breaking the fourth wall kind of movie, or maybe about the movie industry. It was really hard to figure out from what I read, but it's about a group of people in a village, and apparently all the people in the village take on the characteristics of a specific movie star type or genre, and the story plays out along those lines. What exactly that means, I don't know. Is one actor going to be a superhero, one is going to be a hard-boiled detective, another a femme fatale? I have no idea. Do they play themselves? Are they themselves pretending to be movie star tropes? I don't know. I may not even be that imaginative. I might have been reading too much into the description. But first step is to get to the theater and then buy a ticket. After that, we'll worry about the movie. And I wasn't lying about how close it is. I've barely walked one block and there's the theater there on the corner. And that large sign, that billboard, is the movie that I'm hoping to see. And there's Jimmy.
Just finished cinema hall.
Yeah, I'm just going to go.
And now you are a hero.
I'm going to try to buy a ticket for the 6 o'clock.
Yeah, it's starting now.
Yeah, 6 o'clock theater, or 6 o'clock show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing a bit of research on the movie, but I'm not sure what it's about. Have you seen it?
Movie?
Have you seen this movie?
No, this new one.
Brand new one.
Yeah.
But you could have gone yesterday or the day before.
Just start today.
Oh, today is the first day.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's
okay.
why many people.
Oh,
A lot
okay.
of people.
Oh,
A
okay.
lot of motorcycles. Just finished, but they're coming now. They're coming.
Okay. Well, maybe I better hurry, go see if I can get a ticket.
I think so, because it's, this time not that many people.
Not that many people. That's what I thought.
6 to 8, lot of.
Okay. Okay.
Because they finish the job,
Right. Right.
they eat, so 6 to 8. Oh, sorry.
8:30.
8, yeah, 8:30.
The 8:30.
Many. Yeah.
Right.
Now, no, not many. They go
All right.
to see sunset, Bagucha, blah blah. And when they finish, and 8. Yes, coming, lot.
Yeah, how do you say the name of it again? Joyot? The movie?
Yeah, Joyok.
Joyot.
Yeah, Joyok.
And the main actor, Myint?
No,
Myint?
Mimya.
Myint.
Yeah. This green t-shirt one.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna go check it out. See you. That man's name is Jimmy. He's a rickshaw or tuk-tuk driver, as you can see. I was chatting with him earlier. He was wondering if I wanted him to drive me to Mudon tomorrow or the next day to see the giant reclining Buddha. I'm getting conflicting information about whether you can get there by local pickup truck or bus, or whether you can't, whether you have to go by tuk-tuk. I'm not sure. So here's the poster for this movie. Clearly a comedy. We've got this crazy pair on a farm tractor. Our hero seems to be carrying around a rooster. And then we have the love interest, perhaps. And I'm here for the 6 o'clock show. So I'm guessing that this is Myint or Myint and Tyron, the two stars of this film. And it is the Mingalar Bayint cinema. Hello. I get one for Joyot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Downstairs or upstairs? Downstairs or upstairs?
What is better?
Downstairs.
Downstairs? Okay, I'll go downstairs.
One ticket.
One ticket. Yeah, I'm all by myself. Okay. That's number 10.
Yes.
Number 10. In row G, G10. Okay. You have change?
3,000.
3,000. Just have a 10? That's okay. Okay. Thank you. G10.
G10.
Yeah. Okay.
This way.
Thank you very much. Oh.
Where from?
I'm from Canada.
Canada.
So. Oh, so yeah, it's a very modern theater. Kind of old-fashioned doors, though. DC Super Lodge. Okay. 10, G10. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. I was inside the theater at my seat, and usher brought me up and brought me to the seat. And as usual, I didn't understand anything that was going on. I asked them what was the best seat, you know, in the balcony or below, and they said below. So I said, okay, you can just pick a seat for me, and they picked G10, I guess. And I thought, okay, down below, G10, right in the middle, that'll be cool. But then when the usher took me to my seat, he brought me up to the balcony. But I am in G10 in the balcony. I might be in the wrong seat, I have no idea. But the theater inside is brand new, very beautiful, clean, modern, everything, and a modern sound system. I don't know if I had any video from inside there, but the music is playing so loud in there. It's like a nightclub. So I came out here to sit down, record this little intro before I go back in. It's also deadly air conditioned in there. I keep forgetting about that with modern theaters. You almost have to dress up in winter clothing, you know, to go to a theater. I remember it was like that in Taipei when I was living there. And to be honest, I just stopped going to the theater because there were so many problems with the noise level, poor audio quality, freezing cold, and everyone just eating like crazy all around me. There was so much noise. I just gave up on going to the theater because of that experience. But we'll see how it works out here. They also show, Western movies, of course. All the big blockbusters come here. Terminator Dark Fate is coming soon. And what's this one over here? Oh, Rambo Last Blood, the newest Rambo film. If it was one of these playing, I probably wouldn't have come here. But since it was a Myanmar movie, I thought, yeah, let's go check it out. Technical note, this is what I have with me tonight. It's my GoPro, of course, but I have this little GoPro tripod. This little mini tripod came with all the accessories that I bought recently. It's kind of handy, actually. You can use it as a tripod, but then it folds up nicely into a little hand grip. Of course, there are signs here saying, no video cameras, anything like that. But so far, they're not giving me a hard time. No, just because I'm a foreigner, and I guess they'll trust me to turn the camera off when the movie is playing. I'm obviously here as a tourist, not here to pirate the movie. Well, there's the Mingalar Bayint cinema. I didn't stay to watch the whole movie. I think I saw about an hour of it, and I really had no idea what was going on. So whether I stayed to the end or not didn't make any difference. I honestly hardly know where to begin in describing that movie. I don't think we have anything like it in the West. There's no Canadian equivalent of that kind of entertainment. It's something uniquely Asian, in my experience anyway. I'm trying to think of anything in Canada remotely similar to that, and I can't think of anything. I mean, it's a comedy, but it is a comedy like over the top, super exaggerated facial expressions, slapstick humor. Everybody's constantly slapping other people in the face, hitting them over the head. Everybody's falling down in pratfalls. Everybody's chasing everybody around, running in circles, falling down. And then the dialogue apparently was hilarious because everyone in the audience was just laughing hysterically at everything everybody said. But for me, it became kind of uncomfortable after a while because all the characters in the movie were screaming at each other. I mean, they weren't speaking. They were like shrieking and yelling all the time. It was like nonstop yelling and shouting, and it just kind of started to drive me crazy after a while. Maybe it would be better if I knew what they were saying and I knew what the storyline was. But the storyline, too, was all over the place and tonally all over the map. It started off as pure slapstick, a bunch of ne'er-do-wells in a village running an illegal cockfight out in the fields, and then the local village elder bringing the police to try and catch them, but they're too smart for the police and they're hiding in the trees, when they get away and all this kind of stuff. And this kind of stuff goes on, but then there was suddenly a flashback involving a woman telling a story of her childhood or some other people, and it was absolutely horrifying. From what I can tell, it was a pregnant woman who hears some terrible news. I assume the news was that her husband had died somewhere. She went insane. She fell into madness, had the baby, became kind of the village idiot, and then died this horrible death where she was like vomiting up blood, and blood was pouring out of her nose, and the baby was abandoned with her bloody corpse there. It was just absolutely awful. And where this scene came from in the middle of this slapstick comedy, I have no idea. I can't even imagine the mind that was writing this down. And then we flashed forward to, I think, the baby that had been, you know, raised by this insane woman, grown up into one of the ne'er-do-wells or something, and the woman who adopted him also fell with the same illness. She suddenly she was coughing up blood, you know, blood coming out of her nose and her mouth. And there was this bizarre scene where she was lying on the floor sleeping with her adopted son, I guess the boy that she had rescued or she had, you know, taken care of. And the boy, I guess, was not too bright or something. He seemed to be the hero of the movie. But anyway, the woman died in her sleep, and yet the boy that she had adopted was too dumb to realize that she died and started trying to feed her oatmeal, and it was just sort of pouring out of her mouth because she was dead. And the whole scene was played for laughs, that this guy was too dumb to know that she was dead, and he kept kind of pouring oatmeal on her mouth even though it just kept falling away. And another man came in who realized instantly that she was dead, but then the fool kept turning to him and saying, you know, shh, don't wake her up, she's sleeping. So the other guy, he's crying because she's dead, and the fool was still, you know, waving at her and feeding her oatmeal, and everyone in the audience was laughing at this. This was supposed to be funny or something. I just did not get it at all. I mean, it was just, like I said, the tone was just all over the place. I have no idea what this movie was about. As I said, it was a comedy, but these weird, tragic elements. So I think that is about it for my movie experience and movie description for tonight. As I said, I wish I could give some point of reference as to what it was like, but I really can't. I think if you've seen any of the Korean soap opera dramas that are so popular, where all the characters are like screaming and yelling at each other all the time, like just super over the top, exaggerated, turn that into the Three Stooges with just a sprinkling of Night of the Living Dead. And that's kind of what this movie was like for me. It was, yeah, really quite something. Actually, yeah, watching something like that does give you the sense of, yeah, I'm in a foreign country where perhaps I don't always understand the way people are thinking, because I can't imagine who sat down at their computer or their typewriter or their notebook and said, well, I got an idea for a movie and I'm going to write this story down. And then there was a director and you know, cinematographer and all these kind of people got together and made that and said, yeah, that's a good movie. Let's put that in the theater and people are going to love it. You know, I can't imagine, but people do seem to love it. You know, they just wanted to be entertained, to see something with a lot of action and a lot of laughs, and that's what they got. But anyway, it's dinner time for me, and I came back to this little street shop where I had some noodles and rice before. I don't know if you can see much of it there in the dark. It's just up the street from the theater, and I knew it was here, so I thought I would come here and see if I can have something to eat. Oh, it looks different. I don't see... Hello. I don't see tables and chairs. So the menu seems to change here each night. They don't have the noodles and the rice from the other night. They're making, I guess, kind of like a palata, but they gave it a different name, so I'm not exactly sure what it is. But I'm going to have a couple of these just because it's convenient, and sit down at one of these tables. Oh yeah? Okay. Looks like they're preparing all the food for takeaway. But I'm going to sit here at my private table. Oh, okay. Thank you. Maybe they know their audience, and then early in the evening, they have all the noodles and the rice, kind of the dinner crowd. And now that it's a bit later, you know, maybe they make this snack. People pick it up to bring home when they come out of the movie theater, that sort of thing.
Mà thảo văn tao sợ, tu tao sợ.
2000. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I had, you know, that palata, my first lunch in Yangon. And at that time I said, nah, I probably won't have it again. I seem to have had it every single day since then. Just every time I turn the corner, I stumble across another little restaurant or street side stall, you know, cooking those up. And yeah, those two palatas or whatever they are, as I said, they gave them a different name. Yeah, they went down really good. And at the risk of being super predictable, I have to say that a large family sat directly behind me in my wonderful seat G10. The theater seemed kind of empty at first, and I thought, wow, nobody's coming to see this movie. But then there were like 20 minutes of commercials and turn off your cell phone and please no smoking and movie trailers and that kind of thing. And in those 20 minutes, the theater really filled up, and some people came and sat directly behind me. And they were the loudest, noisiest people you can imagine. It was like a family with a bunch of young children. And I eventually had to get up and move. I mean, I wasn't even paying attention to the movie because I couldn't understand what was going on. But they kept kicking the back of my seat over and over and over again. I was just like lurching forward because they kept kicking my seat for so long. I just couldn't take it anymore, and I finally gave up and moved to a new seat. So, yeah, so I had that experience too. That's why I stopped going to movie theaters, to be honest. People.